I've always been fascinated by the tale of Titanic. Sad story of how human engineering isn't immune from perils, when what was meant to float meets something unforeseen, and what took years being built sinks in minutes, crushing hopes and dreams. But not for everybody. You see, there was a man in that ship who sank but didn't sink, Rev.John Harper, traveling to Chicago to preach. When the ship was submerging, he gave his life jacket to somebody who hadn't accepted Christ and told him, "I'm not going down, I'm going up." His story reminds me of the bell buoy, a device placed in the sea which only rings when a storm is coming, when the waters shake it. Human beings are just like it. We are piggy banks. You won't know what's inside us until we are shaken. When there's a storm incoming, when the ship we are on begins to sink. Not all of us have sailed, but we've all experienced a shaking. When you prayed and didn't see anything different happening. When you bury somebody you weren't ready to be separated from. The times you want to go, say goodbye to the world because you can't take it anymore. Like Paul, who was under so much pressure that he despaired of life itself. 2 Corinthians 1:9. The guy who in prison, shackled in the dark, sang, praising God loud. Doesn't sound like something I'd do after going through what he had. I definitely don't wish to be in his shoes, but I do want to walk in his steps. It reminds me of the driver of our church bus who told me how hard it was to tell God thanks when his heart had been shattered, what we call development of character. I don't know how his story ends, but I know how Paul's story does. At midnight the earth shook, the prison door flung open, and he and Silas got out. Their shaking made them sing, just like those buoys in water. He told us God has delivered us from such a deadly peril, and he will deliver us again. 2 Corinthians 1:10. His God is the same as ours. Moses asked for his name and he said that I am. He fits every description. There's no job he can't do for us. He's my tailor, mends me when I'm torn. My savior, I think about him and marvel. My Superman, he's done things that Clark can't. I was on the floor and he helped me up when others wouldn't come near. My good Samaritan, when I couldn't breathe and doctors with their degrees couldn't cure me, he healed me. The great physician, he defies physics, walks on the sea. I can't be afraid when I have him because he's not limited by anything. That doesn't mean I don't get discouraged. Sometimes life can't help but sink my ship. Luckily, I have somebody within who isn't afraid of capsizing. He slept in a storm when everyone around him was panicking. So like John Harper, even if I don't have a life jacket on me, I can say I'm going up when I sink, because even he was buried and came back up. Christianity is a class. Sadly, sometimes it leaves us with more questions than answers. There are lessons where we smile, laugh, and there are others where we cry, long to give up, when we feel like God's no longer on our side, locked up like Paul and Silas. I don't know why we go through such stuff sometimes, but I know that if Jesus is still seated on the right hand, no matter what happens, we'll be alright.